After you finish working on your tone, now we've got the major scale and the harmonic minor scale. I will say this. You do the major scale 1 week, the harmonic minor scale next week. So 1 week, just major scale, the major scale ideas and everything. And then the next week, harmonic minor scale and harmonic minor scale idea. So let's say week 1, you do the major scale. Now, after doing the tone development exercise, you do your tone, you rest, then you go into your major scale. Listen, you cannot play it enough. Why? You needed to play it with the metronome. If you have mastered it at 120, take it to 130. If you've mastered it at 130, take it to 140. If you've mastered at 140, take it to 150. Take it until you get to 200. So, yeah, take it there. It's never too much because everything else is contained inside that little concept. So after doing this thing, you do your major scale exercise. You can take any of the exercises that we have done before and continue. Then after the scale, you go and do the arpeggios. Okay? You do the scale, you combine the scale with the arpeggio. So you can do something like that, I mean, I still do these things. Do with the metronome. And now the first thing you need to do is to slow everything you've been doing down. Please slow it down. Slow it down so that you can get proper grip of it. Slow it down and play it at a tempo where you don't make any mistake. Okay? Please, it's very important. It's very important that you get it correctly first before you speed it up. Okay? Speed comes later. You'll be gaining speed without even thinking about it. Why? Because you are playing with the metronome. You are increasing it by 10 BPM. Every time you've gotten it right after playing like 8 times or 10 times on 1 BPM, 50 BPM, you play the same idea 10 times. By the time you finish, you'll actually be sleeping, but your hands will still be playing the exercise. Now you have gotten it at that tempo. Then take it up. So tone development, and then you do your scale. You play the scale and the arpeggio, and then you do that modal exercise on all the keys. Okay? Do that modal exercise on all the keys. When you finish that, then I'll come back to the diminished and the blues. I'm going to jump. Then you go to your 2-5-1 ideas. You can also do those ones at different tempos. You play around with your 2-5-1s because you don't only play scales and whatever. When you after learning the word, you do with them, you play with them. Then you put on the 2-5-1 play along, and then you play along with it. You try different concepts. You try, okay, what if I want to use, you can say one day, day 1, I'm only going to play it using the scale. Day 2, so I'm only going to play it using the arpeggio. Day 3, you can say, I'm only going to play it using enclosures. You see, that's how you do it. So that day, you're only thinking about enclosure when you're playing those things. You sit down, you think about, so one day you're only thinking about arpeggios. One day you are only thinking about scale. One day you are only thinking about enclosure. And then day 4, you can say, okay, I'm going to use scale mode approach, combine them. And then day 5, you combine the scale mode approach with the arpeggio. You see, but these things, if you want to get result, that's how you do it. And then you read something for 4 bars every day. Don't go too much. 4 bars. So you need to get one of these music books because you need to learn to read music every day also. But how do you do that? It's by reading music. You learn reading music, how to read music by reading music. Get one of these music books. Don't worry, don't play more than 4 bars a day. Just like the exercise I gave you. Don't play, once you can play 4 bars, don't worry, you are finished for that day. Close the book, lock it up. Then when you come back day 2, you play that first 4 bar you have played the day before to refresh your brain. And then you learn another 4 bars. After you have learned the new 4 bars, then play from bar 1 to bar 8. You have won for that day. Finish, close it, go. Day 3, another 4 bars. After you have learned these new 4 bars, play from bar 1 to that new one and continue like that. You will finish a book, start the book over and over and over and over again until one day you open this book and you play it from page 1 to page 100 without stopping. I can tell you what it is you can do, but it's left to you to do. Here in South Africa, I do some shows. I don't know if some of you have seen it, that we don't even have rehearsals. We just get to the show, then they give me the music. And then we are going 1, 2, 3, 4. Sound check, we check it. And then the show, we go. There are some shows that we don't actually have time to do sound check. They send you the music ahead of time, or they give it to you when you get there. And you have to have your way of knowing it. If you want to play at international level, if you want to travel abroad and play when you travel abroad with other people so that you can borrow from them, you need to learn how to read music. And this is one of the easiest way to read music. Just 4 bars, 4 new bars every day, and play from bar 1 to the end of the new bar. Now, after that, you take a song. So you must always have a song you are scoring. Always have a song you are working on. Remember, we said you have 2 mentors, one old, one contemporary. Harold Land, Sonny Stitt, Charlie Parker, John Coltrane, Sonny Rollins. There's a lot of them out there, Find one old, find one contemporary, one at a time, have one that you're working on. And also the solos also, if you're working on a solo from somebody, don't work on the entire solo in one day. Don't work on the entire solo in one day. Please don't. It's going to be overwhelming. Then also it's not sustainable, because if you work on one solo the entire day, listen, you won't be able to cover everything you are supposed to do in one rehearsal. For the solos also, just take 4 bars in a day. But listen, nail that 4 bars. Nail that 4 bars. Like, nail it well. And then, day 2, another 4 bars. After you've learned this new 4 bar, play from bar 1 to where you are. Finish that solo that day, go away. Don't worry. While you are working on that solo, even though it's taking you so long, your fingers are learning, your brain is learning. Remember, you are not just playing the solo, you're also analyzing what are the chords. Before you play any solo, find out the chords that the guy is playing over. If not, you will not be able to apply the wisdom you are getting from learning those things. You don't need just the notes. You need the combination of the relationship between the note and the chord to be able to gain the full benefit of scoring that solo. If you don't know it, go look for a pianist friend of yours and ask him. I won't say you should ask me, because I get really busy, like it's unbelievable, so I will have said me, but hey, I don't know, have a pianist friend, ask them to tell you what the chords are. So you check the chords and then score just 4 bars a day. Make sure you get that 4 bars note for note, inflection for inflection, speed for speed, bend for bend. If it's too fast for you, take it slow, and but keep scoring and keep growing the speed. Okay? Now, after you've done that, after scoring that thing, if you have more time, then put on the major blues and play over it. Just play over it. Play over it. Play over it, try your concept. You can do the same thing for the major blues, I'm going to use chord tone approach, scale tone approach, chord tone scale. I'm going to enclose the first, I'm going to enclose the third, I'm going to enclose the fifth. Play around with it. And then, let's say you start here at the, major scale. You're in week 1 and you start with major scale. At the end of your exercise, make sure you go back and play that major scale, your main major scale and arpeggio. And end with that. You start with that scale and end with that scale to re-emphasize it in your mind. Now, for week 2, the same thing. The only difference is that for week 2, you are doing the harmonic minor scale. You do the harmonic minor scale, and arpeggios, the harmonic minor scale modes, Now enclosures, these times you are checking enclosures in this week as well, Then you check your 251, read 4 bar a day. See, from when you get here, the only difference here is that this second week you are doing the 251 minor. The first week you are doing the 251 majors. But whatever you are reading is the same thing you are reading. Whatever you are scoring is the same thing you are scoring. Now for the second week, instead of checking the major blues, you're checking the minor blues. And then you end with the minor scale.